Okay, we're going to talk about 45, 45, 90 triangles. And we're going to think about it as half of a square. So imagine I've got a square. You know, a square, all corners have 90-degree angles, and all four sides are the same length. Now imagine if I draw a diagonal and cut it in half. Then that means these two angles here are going to be 45 degrees, and you know that these two sides are still the same length because they're parts of the square, right? And we need to figure out this hypotenuse. So we can figure out this length using Pythagorean Theorem. So we know those are 45-degree angles. We know these sides are the same length. We know this is 90 degrees. So let's pretend that like we don't know the length of h. So we're going to use Pythagorean Theorem. We know this side is 1, this side is 1. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 1 squared plus 1 squared is going to give me the hypotenuse squared. Well, 1 squared is 1, and 1 squared is 1. So I've got 1 plus 1, which is going to give me 2. So 2 equals this length squared. So to find out this length, we take the square root of 2 on both sides, and you get the square root of 2. So, and we're going to use this information to help us solve examples that are 45, 45, 90 triangles. Okay, so we're going to be using this relationship. This side is always going to be this value times square root 2, and these values on either side of the 90-degree angle are always the same. Okay, so let's look at this example here. So if this is 4, that means this side over here has to be 4 also, because these sides here are the same. And then this side here is going to have to be 4 square root 2. Okay, let's look at this one here. Same situation. If this side here is 6, this here is going to be 6, this side, and this is going to be 6 square root 2, whatever this value times square root 2. Okay, if this is 8, this side's going to be 8 also, and this is going to be 8 square root 2. Okay, now let's find out, do a little trickier one. If this is 3 square root 2, this is going to be the same thing, 3 square root 2. Okay, and then this side is going to be this side here is going to be this value times square root 2. So I've got 3 square root 2 times square root 2, which is going to give me, square root 2 times square root 2 is going to give me 2. So 3 times 2, which is going to give me 6. Okay, you might want to watch this example again if you have trouble with that one. Same situation a little bit. This side and this side are going to be the same, so this is going to be 4 square root 5. And then this side here is going to be this value times square root 2. So I've got 4 square root 5 times square root 2. So square root 5 times square root 2, that's going to give me 4 square root 10. And that's this length here. All right, last one. Okay, this is the trickiest example. You might need to watch this example a couple of times. Now, in this example, you're given this side here. Okay, now this is supposed to be x square root 2, and it's equal to 12. So in order to solve for x, I need to do something, we need to get rid of this, so we're going to divide both sides by square root 2. Okay, and when we do that, that's going to make this and this cancel out, and then we've got x equals 12 divided by square root 2. Now, we're going to do something called rationalizing the denominator. So to get rid of the square root 2 in the denominator, we're going to multiply square root 2 on the top and bottom here. And the reason we're doing that is we want this square root to go away in the denominator, because if I have square root 2 times square root 2, my denominator is going to become square root of 4, right? And I've got 12 times square root of 2 here in the numerator. Now square root of 4 is 2, right? So we end up with 12 square root 2 over 2. And then the final step is that you know that 2 goes into 12 6 times. And so this final answer is going to be 6 square root 2. So this side's going to be 6 square root 2, and this is 6 square root 2. This last one is tricky, and you may want to watch the video a couple of times because of these steps that I did here. I hope that helps.